Welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. Today we're going to be making a Southern Praline Shortbread, and I'm making several desserts these days that will go on a great holiday plate. So that's what I'm doing. It's the fall season and everybody is baking, and this is going to be one of my really great treats to put on the plate. Let me show you a little bit what goes into our praline pecan. I'm using pecans, but just so you know, you can use walnuts if that's your favorite nut, so it doesn't have to be pecans. We're going to be starting off by making a shortbread crust that's going to be in the bottom of the dish. So I've already prepared a pan where I've sprayed some cooking spray, and then I added some parchment. This is always a really good idea because then you can lift it out and you can freeze it or cut it and prepare it, or you can freeze it. You can freeze this for up to 3 months, or you need to use it within the next like 3 days. So I'm preparing to freeze this because I'm doing a variety of different cookies and bars and offerings on my holiday plate. So I prepared this already, and I put parchment and sprayed it again, so it's ready to go. What we're going to start making, before I tell you about the praline part, is we're going to make the shortbread crust once again by putting in 2 cubes of butter. This is unsalted butter that goes in here, and it's also going to have some powdered sugar, and it's going to have 2 cups of flour. Okay, and what I do is I just use my regular flour, but I beat up the flour a little bit so that it's basically sifted. And then I'm putting my 2nd cup in here now, and I'm going to start my machine on my mixer, and you'll see how easy this comes together. You're basically going to make this into a crumbly mixture that we're going to pat into the bottom of our 9x13 pan. Meanwhile, I have put the oven on to 350 degrees because we're going to do 2 bakings, one for the praline crust, and as soon as that's hot and coming out of the oven, you immediately want to put the praline topping on top. So we're getting this ready first. It needs to go in the oven. Next step is that while our shortbread is baking, we are going to make the praline topping, and included in that is a 1/2 cup of honey, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of cream, 1/2 cube of butter, and I've got 3.5 cups of chopped pecans ready to go. Now I want to tell you a little bit about honey. If you've had honey sitting in your cupboard and it's starting to crystallize and you're trying to pour it out of here and it's too thick and it's not coming, you do not want to put honey in your microwave. That changes the chemical balance of the honey. It's not good for you. Do not put it in the microwave. Just warm up some hot water to boiling, turn it off, and just set your honey right in there and let it melt down until it's ready to go inside, and so you can measure it out properly, okay? So what we're gonna do right now is go ahead on medium heat while everything is baking here for another 12 to 15 minutes. On medium heat, I've turned on the butter. You let that melt, and you can just add everything to that right now, whenever you want. Just go ahead and add the cream, the brown sugar, the 1/2 cup of brown sugar, the 1/2 cup of honey, and we're just going to put that on medium heat till it's completely melted, and then we'll add our pecan. I took my shortbread crust out of the oven and waited till it was kind of toasted around the edges because it's going to be going back in the oven for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add my nuts to my mixture here. I've had it on just low. You don't want to cook this too much because it's going to actually go on top and cook another 20 minutes until these pecans are toasted perfectly. And you need to watch it because you don't want to burn any kind of pecan or praline on it. So sometimes if you overcook it, it'll be ruined. So pretty much 15 to 20 minutes on this one too. I put it in usually about 20 minutes is perfect. So now I'm going to take this, add this to our crust. Okay. Spread this evenly on top of our crust. Now this is great because this will, if you're making a plate of goodies to hand to your friends or co-workers or whoever you're baking for this season, I'm going to be showing you lots of different recipes to use to make a variety of different kinds of flavors and textures, everything from citrus to nuts to brownies, mint brownies. I'm doing a whole array of things I'm going to be teaching you to put on a plate, whatever your favorites. But you know, this is a fairly easy recipe. Okay, now I'm going to put this back in the oven for 20 minutes, and you want to put it in until it's nice and bubbly and toasted for the pecans. Okay, I just took this out of the oven. I put it in for 15 minutes, and I have left it in for 20 minutes before, and sometimes it's looking a little too dark, like it was a little bit burnt, a little bit, kind of a burnt caramel. And I think it's better, depending on your oven, 15 minutes is perfect. What's nice about this is that I can, once this is cooled, I can go ahead and take my parchment paper out here and put it right here. The pan is gone, and I'm going to be cutting these up into little small squares to be able to put, I'm going to freeze it, and then I'm going to take it out when I'm ready to put my holiday plate together. This is an amazing, yummy thing to make, and you saw how easy it was. But it's like having nuts and praline and crust and shortbread all at once. It's just so delicious. I hope you'll try it for your holiday plates if you want to make cookies like I do this season.